create conflicts, wipe out millions if they have to keep this UFO thing silent. Because you have to understand something. In the U.S., technology equals one basic main thing: money. Very, very big money. It would be more beneficial and more profitable for the U.S. system and those that run it to keep the existence of the subject of UFOs silent. February 2010 is when I first saw the object, and just pretty much stayed on it. It's complicated. It's extremely complicated. Goes back a long, long ways. So, about, I don't know, encounter, say, 20 through 30, and understanding and realizing just what it really is that was being seen, I had to figure out a way to get it to come back. So, say encounter number 30. It's late. Encounter number 30. Once I realized what I was looking at and had been seeing, I thought, I've got to figure out a way to keep this thing coming back. The more it comes back, the more I can film / record it. And I developed a system and mastered this technique in which I was able to call it November 2012. The planet Earth is a very risky place to basically inhabit in. I mean, there's really nowhere else to go, but planet Earth is very shaky right now for many of reasons. It's hard to mix that subject known as UFOs with the biblical nature theme concept of religion. It's a formula that many don't, those are two subjects that at a very common American dinner table, it's considered hush-hush. It's just something that's, there's no interest, not going to indulge in it, and it's just one of those deals where I really don't think people, they don't want to know. Western civilization has a misconception about a book. The book's called the Bible, the Great Book. It's a story. Most those wandering minds out there, it's nothing but a story, an old story from a book. The evidence stands as of November 2012 that it is not just a book. It's actually it's a passport to heaven. So by taking the UFO subject and mixing it in with the religious biblical aspect of religion, it just opening a door to getting your rear handed to you, because there are just so many ways of thinking out there that they either don't like the thought, or they want proof, and even if there is the proof, it's just still not wanted. So let's get past this and let's move forward. This 2010, 2011, 2012 object that I've seen, Um, the same object has been, it has actually been photographed from a passenger plane in Australia, Los Angeles. It has been seen in Mexico repeatedly. There was one encounter that I shot one day, and the same object was seen by somebody in Alaska. It is basically being seen all over the world. Past, I'd say probably, well, since I went to the HD, a lot of the films watched in HD, full HD, 1920, 1080, 20-inch screen, a lot of on the filmed events, it was being seen in which balls of light would come shooting off of the craft, and I mean fast, extremely fast. Just here on 281, at about the 4-minute mark, a little after, you just see it off the right side just go darting off. And the October 2nd, 2010, and then I don't remember what the date was where the other one where it launched. It's all pretty much coming together that as this thing is in certain areas and it's in flight path, things are coming off of it. And I have a film that I shot. It was the first year, 2010, in which these spheres, or these balls of light, something opened up on the object, like a hatch door or something, and I believe I counted about 14 of them just come out. And I believe on the early films, which have all been removed from all the sites, I showed stills, and once again, I knew it even before that time that it is what it is, and in order to get it to keep returning, to be able to understand it and learn more about what its makeup really is, I had to figure out some way to get it to come back, and that is what I refer to as the calling. Billy Muir with Summon Zone, he was one of the first ever to come out openly to say that he could do it. 2012, there's the guy in Los Angeles that has done it for groups of people. There's that other guy down there, that Yahweh or whatever is, I don't even know what his name is, that claimed to be a prophet, biblical guy. And when he did it for the news, they pawned it off as the balloons and all. The guy down in Mexico, who actually shot a film this past year in which it's the same object with the sphere underneath and that light bar going to that sphere, and in his film you can see it orbiting or satelliting around below it, and the main object explodes, and there is still something there after it pops. So that, that kind of blows out the balloon, the balloon theory, lame excuse, whatever. And he has seen that same craft repeatedly. So, once again, the U.S.'s way of thinking is that if you see a UFO, it's a miraculous thing. If you see 20, something's wrong. There are actually people in the world, like the LA guy and probably the other guy, who have mastered techniques to be able to summons these craft. The craft that I had seen goes all the way back to biblical times. Ancient Aliens on the History Channel had mentioned about the Roman soldiers during the biblical times that described seeing flying gold shields. Alexander the Great had mentioned where there were two silver shields or saucers during one of his events. So if we went back and took stills, say from 2010, 2011, when I was using the Panasonic 30 optical, not the full HD, if we took some of those still shots and we took the structure of the body of the craft out of the picture, if you were above that, it would look like a shield from, you know, Roman biblical times. And in some of the stills I was pulling, and once again, as of now, I think there are over, I believe, about 18 to 19,000 still photos that were extracted or grabbed off of the filmed slash recorded events. And if you were to take this structure, this body off on some of them, you would have what was described, 2,000 years ago? My personal experiences, my personal reason for being here obviously has something to do with these sky images, this UFO encounter, and that is my calling. The more the world does not work for perfect harmony, the more the images are appearing, and they're getting more and more profound with what is being depicted. Many that book that's just a story. Many antichrists have come. This is how we know it to be the last hour.